I'm going to show you how to make this perfect pom-pom that can be used on hats or anything that you want a pom-pom for. But the nice thing is that it has these ties that I use to feed through the tip of the hat and tie together inside so that it can be removed when laundering. And I love this pom-pom. It is so fluffy and full, and my favorite yarn to use for making them is Lion Brand Homespun. And there are different colorways that this comes in. And to me, this makes just perfect pom-poms. We're also going to be using a pom-pom maker. The one that I'm using is a Clover 2.5 inch pom-pom maker. And I'm also going to want some extra yarn that is cotton or acrylic for ties. I used acrylic on this one. I have cotton for this one because it's nice and strong, but we don't want to use this yarn because you see how this frays. This is not going to make a good tie for the ends. And then you'll need some good sharp scissors. I like to have 2 pair. You don't have to. These are going to be good for when it's time to cut the pom-pom off of this tool, and then I like this one for shaping. So now that we have our yarn ready, we're going to open up one side of our pom-pom maker and attach our yarn just by holding it, and I'm just going to start wrapping to secure that end.
And just keep wrapping, wrapping, wrapping.
I want a full pom-pom, so I want to completely cover the green of this tool evenly. And when I'm done, that should be good. I'm going to just trim that off and close it up. And now I'm going to grab the other side and open it up. And I'm going to do the same thing again. Okay, so I don't want to cover right there. You want to make sure not to do too much to cover that up, and then trim it, close it up. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to move that yarn out of the way. I'm going to get this yarn ready. Now is where I like to use my smaller sharp scissors, and we're going to just cut between these 2 indents, or on both sides. And then I'm going to take my yarn, and depending on how thick it is, you could double this up. I'm trying to decide. I don't think I need to double this one. I'm going to wrap it around once and pull it in tight, and wrap it around again and pull it nice and taut. And then I'm going to tie a knot. I really want this to be tight, so I'm trying to keep a good hold on this yarn so it stays secure. And then I'm going to open up both sides, and that will make it easy to remove. You actually don't have to open up both sides. I forgot, you just pull it apart. But now We take it and we shake it up. We've got a pom-pom, but it's a mess. So this is where you start to trim it. I like to just get a nice firm grip where I've made the knot. Fluff it up and just start trimming away. It's often kind of an oval oblong shape in some areas, depending on if you've really overstuffed that yarn on the pom-pom maker. But don't worry about making it too precise, because we're going to next steam our pom-pom to fluff it up even more. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. This one has been steamed and this one has not. And this is really cute, just like this as well. But steaming just really makes it nice and fluffy and also helps with shaping it. So I don't get too concerned about shaping it this first step. So now we're going to head into my kitchen to steam the pom-pom. So I have a pot with some steaming water in it, and I have got a mesh strainer, and I can do this with my clothes steamer, but not everybody has one, so I thought I would show a way that you could do this using things that you already have. Now, you don't want to burn yourself, so that's why we're using the mesh strainer. So you can just put your pom-pom in the mesh strainer and put it over the steam and just do this for a few minutes. We can readjust it every so often. And then we want to take it and shake it out again. Just kind of fluff that up. And check it out and see, does it need more steaming? Oh, it looks like I got some water on it, so I'm going to need to let it dry off. I let the water really bubble this time. Okay, so it's steamed really well. So now I'm going to go and let it cool down and dry off a bit, and then I can reshape it again. I'm just going to fluff it again, and then I will start trimming it. So I have my steamed pom-pom, and you can see that it definitely needs some more shaping now. So now is where I will take the time to really go in and work on smoothing this out. Now, I mentioned that I got this pom-pom a little bit wet. Not wet from the steam, but where some of the water bubbling up from the pan bubbled up onto the pom-pom, and it doesn't want to fluff quite as nicely. So just be cautious that you keep your steamer far enough away from the pom-pom. Hold the mesh strainer farther away so that you don't have that, because then I took it and blow dried this and tried to fluff it again on that area where it didn't want to shape quite as nicely. So you just keep working on this until you're happy with the shape. And then you have a perfect pom-pom. Look how beautiful that looks, like a snowball. Beautiful, love it.